Hey guys, it's Aaron with Sixgill Fishing. We're in the studio today to talk about one of my favorite setups, the Texas rig. Let's head over to the bench and I'll show you how to get this set up. So my main line that I'm going to run is 17-pound fluorocarbon. I prefer Seaguar Invisex or Red Label, but again, it's all personal preference. So what I'm going to do is pull some line just for demonstration purposes. And then you're going to start with your weight. This is going to be a 1/4 ounce. I throw everything from 1/4 ounce all the way up to a 1 ounce weight, depending on water conditions, the wind, and where the fish are. Keep in mind that the lighter your weight is, you will lose a little bit of distance in casting, but normally it will give more action to the bait the lighter the weight is, because your bait will get higher in the water column before it comes back down with the Texas rig. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to run our weight. We're going to run our line right through the front of the weight. We're going to have it on the line. Personally, I do only throw Sixgill hooks. They have great hookup ratios. The penetration ratio on our hooks is pretty phenomenal. If you haven't tried them out, what I would do is definitely recommend hopping online. Order yourself a pack just to give them a try. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. So this is a 3/0 EWG hook. I'll throw anything from a 3 to a 5/0, again, depending on my bait size. For those bigger worms like a mag worm, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a 5/0 EWG hook. So we're going to run this through the back of the hook. And then what I like to do is I like to just Palomar knot it. And again, we have a video up on how to tie the Palomar on our website, as well as on our YouTube channel. So I will just run this through here. Tie my knot real quick. And then all you're going to do is you're going to clip off your tag end. When you get done with this setup, it should look like that. You're going to want your weight to free float on the line. You can put a bead on here to protect your knot if you feel it's something that you need, or especially if you're fishing like heavy cover and you're pitching or flipping a Texas rig. It's always something I would recommend doing, is putting a bead on there in heavy cover. It'll just keep your knot a little bit stronger, and you won't have to worry about breaking off as much. One of the best baits that I like to throw on a Texas rig is the Yum, and it is the Christy Critter, I'm sorry. Just a great bait. It's kind of a combination between a creature bait and a brush hog, where it has more appendages that you can just break off. And then the tail, if you can see, is actually split on these, where a brush hog, it's a solid piece. This actually has an extra flange on it. Just a great bait. Just a good shout out to Yum as well. We do appreciate them. They are also a sponsor of our 2020 Sixgill tournament trail that we'll be posting later on this year in regards to the tournament dates. So let me show you how I rig this. So I'm going to take my bait, I'm going to hold it vertical, hook the same way. I'm going to go in the center of the bait just until I hit the barb of the hook. Just like that. That's how you want it. Now you're going to go straight out the bottom of the bait and run this all the way up until the eye guide. Then you're going to turn your bait so that way the hook is sitting on the flange right here of your hook. A good way to get this bait to lay straight, instead of just trying to hook it like 100 different times so it lays straight, is just take your finger and mark where that bait is in adjacent to the hook. All you have to do is take it from that point, pinch it up, just like that, and then push it through the top. When you push it through the top, what will happen is it'll actually lay flat. So that's how it should look whenever you have your hook through the bait. You have two options whenever you do this. You can leave it this way if you're not fishing heavy cover, it's perfectly fine. What will happen is if you get a bite, that fish will come along and he's going to clamp down, and then it will give you a straight penetration into the fish's mouth. You can also take it, push the worm forward, or your bait forward, and then let it slide back. What will happen with the tip of the bait being in is the bait will now pretty much be a weedless feature. So if you're fishing heavy cover, or you're fishing grass or buckbrush, you don't have such a high ratio of getting hung up or snagged. It does still provide a great penetration rate on a hookup because you still have the same feature. When that fish hits it, it'll come straight out and you can go straight into the fish's mouth. So now that we have this rigged up, I just wanted to touch base again just real quick on like the floating movement or the action of the bait. So with this, if you can imagine, this is going to be sitting on the bottom like this. Your line's going to be taut. Whenever you're Texas rig fishing, you don't really want a lot of slack in your line between moving the bait, if you're popping the bait or if you're just kind of slowly pulling the bait. But what will happen is if you're on the bottom and you go to pop it, that weight's going to want to shoot up. Well, what that's going to do is it's going to pull the bait up in the water column. The weight will hit first, and then your bait is pretty much going to naturally flutter back down to the bottom. And this is key in Texas rig fishing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned something. If you would, go try it out on the water. Let us know how it goes. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Make sure that you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and we'll see you in our next video.